What about the handout?
I'm trying to wait.
Item 2, as amended. Call the administrative calendar. Items 1 and 2.
That takes effect immediately?
Everybody ready?
Okay. I'm just saying that I call the administration items 1 and 2
As amended.
No.
All right, we are going to reconvene. Pending, we have a motion and a second to amend item number 1 on the administrative calendar. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Supervisor Gillen?
I thank the Town Council for giving me the opportunity to review these amendments. Well, I don't know if I can support all the changes made by the Council. I have some concerns. I will reserve my comments for the hearing at the public hearing next week. Since this is simply a vote to advance the tentative budget to the proposed, I will vote yes and look to a more detailed discussion on the 16th.
Councilman Blakeman? Aye. Councilman Diaz-Posito?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn? Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye.
Okay, can I have a motion on the amended administrative calendar? Oh,
I call the administrative calendar items 1 and 2 as amended.
may I have a motion on the administrative calendar?
I second the motion. I'll move it? Okay. I will move the administrative calendar.
Second.
Okay, I have a number of slips on the administrative calendar. First, I have Diane Madden. Maybe try the other mic. Is the other mic working?
Diane Madden, Hempstead. Full disclosure, I'm running for Hempstead Town Supervisor. I have a lot of questions, but obviously I'll discuss those on the 16th as well. But with regards to the animal shelter, could someone tell me who put this budget together?
The budget is prepared with the various department heads, and the controller's office and my finance director are the general people involved.
Okay, because I see it went from now 5 million to about 5.5 million. So the questions I have, well, first of all, it looks like the placement of animals line, 30,000, which was not used at all, is now 27,000. So I do have some questions. Since no money was used, what is that money proposed for? And how did they come up to the amount of $27,000?
Commissioner, are you able to speak on that item?
Sorry, I was talking to the,
There's a question about the budget for the animal shelter.
The placement of animals. This was actually, in reality, Anthony Santino's way to pay Kim Strong to send animals away. It wasn't used. It's not used this year.
If we're talking about the $30,000, we're still, I believe it's still going to be in the budget for next year.
But placement to where?
If the town board decides to send out an RFP for placement, we'll make a determination at that time. If there's an acceptable location, we'll be able to do so.
Right, the town board usually doesn't get involved with these
We had
issues.
an RFP the last 2 years for it.
Also the advertising, $10,000 was named, $300 was spent. I believe it's $9,000 again in 2020. Where are these animals not being advertised?
That's up to the animal shelter director. I know we increased it for the ability to the animals to.
But they haven't been advertised. The animals haven't, nothing that has gone up at this animal shelter has reflected positively, if anything, just the opposite on animals. I'm just trying to get to the point of the budget has now gone up. It had gone up by $1 million from 2018 to 2019. Now it's gone up by another $500,000, and these animals aren't seeing any positive results of that. So who is benefiting from this?
I don't, as far as the budget, I don't understand the questions that I don't think they're appropriate for the budget part of what we're discussing.
Well, they are appropriate because the money is being put aside for a budget, not being utilized. As far as the contracts, the amendment that allows commissioners to delve out $50,000 to anyone that they wish without board approval and without public knowledge, how does that fit into this budget? Is that something totally separate? Is there a budget line for contracted services in this animal shelter budget?
In the animal shelter, it's part of the animal shelter budget.
I've never given a contract out under $50,000 without the board approval, so I wouldn't.
Well, that was just an amendment. You have given out fraudulent contracts. That's besides the point.
Absolutely not.
Yes, you have. The actual part-time money spent on part-timers was $250,000 for last year. The budget asked for almost $1 million in part-time salaries. Is that for new hires, an additional $1 million in new hires? Is that for current part-timers?
That would be for both things.
Yeah, but what was asked for by the department and what was actually put into the tentative budget is a completely different number. And increase in spending from 2018 to 2019, based on the actuals in 2018, is only $300,000. It's not $1 million.
It's 500,000. I just. The 18 to 19 was $1 million, and this year is 500,000.
So 2018 actual expenses, just a little under 5.1 million. The 2019 budget as amended had 5.3 million.
Thank you, Ms. Madden.
Thank you.
Lamont Johnson?
Good afternoon, Supervisor Gilling, other council members. I want to especially recognize Senior Councilwoman Goolsbee, who has served more than 20 years. I want to thank her publicly for her service to the village of Hempstead. I know she has other constituents, but I want to personally thank her for her work that she does in Hempstead. I want to thank her for speaking out, for being a fighter for Hempstead. I want to also thank her for pulling my coat when it needs to be pulled and giving me guidance in regards to what's good for the village of Hempstead, a place that she's been many years. Her job is very important. And recently I heard some news about the possibility that she was disrespected. I don't know if it was meant for her to be disrespected, but she should not be disrespected by anyone on this board or any other board. She deserves respect, and she's very well respected in the community. And as a village trustee in Hempstead, when she comes to the meeting, she comes with at least 80 more people. So I know she has influence, and people follow her when she speaks. People listen. So I want her to know personally that I have great respect for her, and the village of Hempstead has great respect for her, and I'm sure everyone in this room has a great respect for her. And I just want to say it in person that she's doing a great job, and I want her to continue to do the job. Also, very quickly, I want to say that the town of Hempstead in general, the workers are doing a great job. The sanitation workers, the workers in the parks, DPW in general, they're doing a great job. And one of the reasons why they're doing a great job is because of the person that looked over their resumes and decided to hire those people. So I want that person to be acknowledged as well. Mr. Bill Salmon has done a great job. So I don't want any politics to interfere with the great job that he's doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. I'd just like to say that I have the highest regard for Senior Councilwoman Gooseby, and I, for one, would never disrespect her. I'm actually afraid of her.
Well, thank you very much, Trustee Johnson. That was a big surprise today. Wow, thank you.
You owe him.
I owe you, huh?
Thank you, Trustee. Wilhelmina Funderburg?
Good morning. Wilhelmina Funderburg. I reside in Roosevelt, have been there over 50 years. And before I start, I would like to congratulate Senior Councilwoman Dorothy Gooseby for giving all her work and everything, because I understand this is the anniversary of 20 years of being working for her constituents, and we really appreciate her, and she's done a great job. She always comes to the community.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what's going on.
Just keep doing what you have been doing, and that's enough for us in the community.
Senior Councilman, this means you have to buy everybody lunch.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Well, I have to get my salary increased to be able to do it.
Is this a eulogy? You're still alive, right?
I am.
This is wonderful. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. The only I am going to a eulogy today for a person. I have to tell you this. When I came to New York, I came as in migration, because when I completed my degree in college, the only thing offered to me where I lived was a job as a housekeeper in a hospital. And I wasn't going to do that. So I wrote a letter to New York City, and I got a job in a hospital. And when I got there, I didn't know anyone. So my friend, who is being utilized today, took me under her wings, and others took me under wings. I had a new whole family. My family was in Florida. And today I have to go to say goodbye to her for the last time. So it's just been a journey in my life, and I thank all of you for working so hard. I have not had one commissioner who ever says no to me, not any employee. And I appreciate that. I appreciate my board members as well, even you.
Oh, my God. Holy cow.
Well, she's
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I happen to like people. It has nothing to do with politics. You know, politics are different because everybody knows I say what I mean, I do what I mean, you know, and I don't dislike people, but I don't like it when people don't do things the right way, because, you know, we're all God's children. We all have red blood, and that's what's important to me. So thank you so much for that. Thank you all for what you did today. I can't believe it. It's really something. Thank you.
I will reserve my questions and everything about the sale of property in Roosevelt on the 16th. But I'd just like to say one thing. We have been in Roosevelt, and I say we, myself, over 50 years. We have seen a lot of changes, but we definitely do not need to sell our property, because we need a lot of things. When I first came to Roosevelt, we had a movie theater, we had a diner, and we had so many other things. We have lost all of those things. So I'll just reserve my discussion for the 16th. Thank you.
Thank you. Felix Procacci?
Felix Procacci. At the end of my statement, I'd like this hand up to be explained regarding the Sandy victims and stuff like that. It was said that those transfers of money had to be delayed until November 12th. But if those for review, so that, you know, the fact of the matter is if it's legitimate that you're really doing it because you're concerned of the accuracy, how do you put together a budget when you're not sure about your appropriated fund balance? So I think that's like a gimmick, and, you know, and I don't think we should go forward with this budget hearing because of that. Also, once again, the park districts in the current 2020 budget that's online do not show the employees, the titles and the salaries like they do with all the other departments, which I think is very important for transparency. And we had a number of meetings on the Franklin Square Park District, and people didn't understand the budget because 90% of it is appropriated fund balance and the rest of it is capital outlay, and it really doesn't say anything. So how do you expect people to make a good decision when they don't really know? Also, I have a flyer from 2015. Marie and Santino offer assistance in the battle against heroin. They donated an additional $100,000 to agencies, non-for-profit, to help in the opioid addiction. So we do give money, and I would like to know if we can give some money to, I believe it's Ulster County, for taking our dogs, you know, from, you know, Kim Strong's facility that's shut down. So, you know, it was said that we can't give money, but meanwhile we gave money to a non-for-profit. So why can't we give money to a municipality or municipal shelter? I don't see any reason for that, except for, you know, delaying, you know, I'm not sure what it is. On these amendments, these are all per New York State law, which, you know, I know everyone's tired of hearing it. You're supposed to have this prior to the meeting. They shouldn't be handed up an hour, 15 minutes. I didn't get an hour to review these. And since the people who delayed this meeting made up these amendments, they could have picked a date such that they could get these amendments up on the website per state law, and then have the meeting sometime later so people could come and take a look at this. I see we got to one up the supervisor by doing a tax cut and projections, and I'll say the same thing I said last year on projections. There's nothing wrong with under projecting, and if we end up with $5 million leftover money next year and it's a windfall, fix 5 miles of road, 10 miles of roadway, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Procacci.
Can we discuss?
Yes.
You guys.
Can you just give a quick summary, Mr. Lagariba, of the emergency hand-up item?
Sure. So the current contract we have with Redland Strategies, part of their scope of work is to identify grant opportunities. A recent round of the disaster award grant funding through FEMA was just made available on September 30th. The closing date on those grants is December 4th. We won't have enough time to put together a proper application if we wait until November 12th. This is to provide us an opportunity to help some of the residents along our South Shore and flood-prone areas to get them mitigation dollars to help them with the issues that they're dealing with elevations and other things.
Okay, and just one more thing. As far as this meeting, since it wasn't on the original schedule and we do have an email list and everything, I think it'd be appropriate that the town board sends out an email reminding people of, especially a meeting that's unexpected. I think you should do it for every meeting personally, but, you know, especially for an unexpected meeting, that you send out an email to everyone on your list.
I think that's a good point. Thank you, Mr. Procacci. I do not have any other slips on the administrative calendar. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Supervisor Gillen?
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman? Aye. Councilman Diaz-Bazito?
This is on the hand-up as well?
It's on the
Administrator, okay, I just want to point out real quick, as I do support any work that we're doing with FEMA with regards to the South Shore communities of which I represent, I do want to point out that at the last meeting, we passed legislation stating that hand-ups would need to be delivered to the town board 1 hour prior to a meeting. And all of the town board members that I've spoken to did not receive the hand-up within the hour. And I spoke to the principal from Redland, and he said that he would notify the town on Friday. So I vote aye, but I think this is, we should move forward, and this is not do as I say, not as I do. I vote aye.
Mr. Lockeruba, did we hand it up 1 hour before the meeting to at least the chief of staff?
If I was a couple of minutes off with Mr. Regina, I apologize. We didn't have the numbers from Redland until just late yesterday as far as what that amendment would be, and I did notify the town attorney yesterday that this would be coming. So if I missed it by a couple of minutes, Councilman, I apologize.
Councilman Dunn? Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby?
Aye, and I would like to say I didn't receive it either. So it's okay, because it's something that we really need to do for the residents.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye.
Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Supervisor, do I have to use the document to be done that?
It's been done already.
Okay, good. Sorry.
We did the second motion anyway. We
Madam
seconded
Clerk, may you
already.
please call the roll?
Supervisor Gillen?
Aye.
Councilman Blakeman? Councilman Diaz-Bazito? Aye. Councilman Dunn? Aye. Senior Councilwoman Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Well, this
Okay,
is a
that
pretty
concludes-
good meeting.
Yeah, this is a
Everybody said yes. This is the first hand.
All right, everybody, have a lovely day.